This hour on Chris 6 Sunrise, the holiday season is here, and so is flu season. We take a look at who's at risk of getting sick while traveling. Here's what stories we're covering in your neighborhood.
Protecting yourself from scams is the latest mission of one Aransas Pass veteran. I'm Adam Beam, sharing his story and how to protect yourself.
'Tis the season to give back. I'm Stephanie Molina, where Thanksgiving dinner was held to uplift the community.
Well, good Wednesday morning and welcome to Chris 6 News Sunrise. Thank you for starting your day with us. I'm Michaela Chavez. Brian and Michelle have the day off. Let's turn it over to Stephen Jones, who's standing by with a look at your roadways before you head out the door this morning. Hey, Stephen, happy Wednesday.
Well, happy Wednesday. Well, morning to you as well. Michaela, how are you feeling today?
I'm feeling good. I got caught in the rain on my way inside here, but we talked about it earlier and you said it's a good thing.
Absolutely. It's a happy surprise. You know, I thought it was going to stay off to the south, but I was pleasantly surprised to see some lightning on the way in. But I know getting caught in it, maybe not the best, not the best out there, right?
Not the best, but yes, we are grateful.
Yes, definitely. And luckily it's starting to move out of the area and so it's not affecting traffic flow too bad out there. Just seeing some of those wet roadways slightly slowing us down. Let's get an in-depth look here, starting off with the new Harbor Bridge. If you're heading to or from Portland this morning, gonna be good and green both directions. It looks like no slowdowns there. Into the Corpus Christi area, Ocean Drive, not too bad either. The main slowdowns, Rodfield, as you get close to SPID, just a little bit. Also the junction there of SPID and Crosstown Expressway. Also around Saratoga and Crosstown Expressway, but they're only in the yellows, really not looking too bad if you want to account for just a couple extra minutes heading out that way. Into the Flower Bluff area, Flower Bluff Drive, Waldron Road, and SPID all looking good in this area. Just the normal slowdown we see closer to the gates there at the Naval Air Station. Over on the island, also plenty of greens on the board, exactly what we like to see. So all of those drive times for you this morning, taking a quick look at them, going to be in the green. So wherever you're coming from and going to, good and green to head out the door and kick off your Wednesday.
Thank you, Stephen. We will get to your neighborhood news in just a bit, but first, during this busy holiday travel season, health officials say South Texans need to watch for more than just the crowds. The flu is spreading earlier than usual. While cases are still relatively low, some doctors have noted a sharp increase in patients over the past few weeks. According to the CDC, a majority of the cases involve a strain called H3N2 subclad K. The strain has already set off outbreaks in Canada and the UK. Health officials are keeping a close eye on the strain because it can cause more hospitalizations and deaths in older adults. And with the flu moving early, doctors want the most at risk to move early too. Here are the reminders they hope you don't skip. Young children, the elderly, and people with compromised immune systems are most at risk. Doctors say keeping up to date on your vaccines is important. Make sure you get enough rest, even if you're traveling. And wash your hands frequently, and most importantly, stay home if you feel sick. The city of Corpus Christi has announced their Thanksgiving holiday schedule. If your trash or recycling pickup day is on Thursday, it has been rescheduled to Saturday. Friday collection will run as normal. City Hall will be closed on Thanksgiving Day. Libraries, public pools, the natatorium, and gymnasiums will also be closed on Thanksgiving, as well as recreation and senior centers. The Lozano and Oso golf courses will be open on Thanksgiving Day.
I'm your Aransas Pass neighborhood news reporter, Adam Beam. A veteran here reached out to me wanting to spread the word about scams that may be targeting people like him. So here's what you need to know.
For many Americans, dealing with scammers is a near daily occurrence, and at times, a costly one. Stories of those impacted are not too hard to come across either. Take, for example, this story of an 80-year-old man in Miami being stopped by police as he attempted to deposit thousands of dollars into a Bitcoin ATM. It's that story that was all too familiar for Mike Williams. He, too, fell victim to a similar crime.
You can't be too careful.
Given the crime involved cryptocurrency, it's important to remember some helpful tips. Only scammers demand cryptocurrency, and any messages, emails, or phone calls, no matter how legitimate they may seem, should be ignored and reported.
This season, many will gather for Thanksgiving, but not everyone will be able to afford a meal. I'm Stephanie Molina, your neighborhood news reporter in Robstown, where a Thanksgiving dinner turned warm meals into community support. What are you thankful for this Thanksgiving?
Very thankful for everybody. My family coming together, people helping out my family.
My family.
What the community is doing. Oh, this is nice. And then it helps us out with the baby too.
For my family, hugging my mom. My family.
Those are the words of Robstown neighbors who came out Tuesday night for an early Thanksgiving dinner at the Robstown Young Futures, a nonprofit that will soon be opening to the community after the new year. I spoke to Marketing Director Emily Hernandez about why these community events are important. The event brought about 170 people. They got to eat a warm traditional Thanksgiving meal. Robstown neighbor Gilbert Rodriguez says places like these are important for the community. Hernandez says the organization aims to create more opportunities for local youth and that helping parents is one way to help the children too.
Well, hey there, and good Wednesday morning, Coastal Bend. I'm meteorologist Stephen Jones. Taking a live look out at our USS Lexington cam, thanks to First Community Bank. New Harbor Bridge in view. A few cars starting to head out for that Wednesday morning commute. The aquarium nice and lit up, and we got a good amount of rain just a bit ago, so not too bad as we're kicking off our Wednesday. Those temperatures in your neck of the woods a little cooler off to the north. 62 in Beeville, gonna be that cool spot. 67 along the coast. Similar off to the south there in Kingsville, as well as Hebronville is what we're watching for. All of us on the cool down as we see that cold front continue on to the south, but also pretty breezy in the wake of it. Winds around 20 to even 25 miles an hour here in Corpus Christi. A little lighter there in George West, coming in at 11 miles an hour, but pretty breezy conditions on the way for the Coastal Bend as we head into the afternoon. For our Doppler radar, like we talked about, some decent rain moved through Corpus Christi right here in town as we went through about that 4 to 5 a.m. hour. Has since started to fizzle out with the best convection off to the south as you work your way further south towards the Rio Grande Valley, is where we could see that better convection taking place later into the afternoon. For our area, still dealing with just a couple of those isolated showers this morning, but after it works out, only going to be left with those breezy winds out of the north into the afternoon, about 20 miles an hour. Also those cool temperatures in the wake of that cold front. Expecting those lower 70s for today, as well as Thanksgiving for tomorrow. For our dog walking forecast today, we've got Beerus and Broly here, already pretty thankful for each other as we're getting ready for the holiday tomorrow. As we're looking at their temperatures for that walk along Ocean Drive, 68 degrees by 10 a.m. Lower 70s as we're heading towards that lunch hour, but pretty breezy at that. Out of the northeast, 20 miles an hour or so as we're heading through the early afternoon. So just a little breezy and cool for today. But as we go into the weekend, going to see those temperatures go back up into the lower 80s by Saturday, right back down through the 70s and potentially even the upper 50s by Monday into Tuesday of next week. For our future tracker, you can see that front continuing off to the south with taking all the rain with it and the cloud cover as we're heading into tonight and starting off our Thanksgiving. But as we head into the morning hours and afternoon tomorrow, going to see those partly cloudy skies start to make their return to our area. Looking at our Thanksgiving forecast right here in Corpus Christi, of course, want the birds out of the way. They're not trying to get cooked as we go into tomorrow. Temperature's not too bad at 73 and those light winds compared to today, at least east-northeast 9 to 14 miles an hour, and plenty of sunshine on the board. If you're going to be traveling across the Lone Star State, here's a look at what that could look like for you. 60s pretty much across the board, although I definitely think I'd take a jacket with me if you were heading up towards the DFW area, sitting around that 60-degree mark for the daytime high. For our 7-day forecast right here in town, going to be taking the winds while we have them. The 70s on the board through about Friday. That next weather maker arrives by Saturday, stirring up some of those rain chances into the weekend, but the cool temperature is going to take over as we head into next week, kicking off 59 degrees for Monday.
I'm Melissa Trevino in Alice, where city and county leaders are teaming up to crack down on illegal dumping. It's an issue I've reported on over the last 2 years. A look at the game plan is next.
Many folks will be traveling this week for Thanksgiving. Coming up on Sunrise, Scripps News Group Joe St. George joins us. He has more on the busiest travel week. Welcome back, everyone. It is 6:12 on your Wednesday morning, your hump day morning, and we're taking a look at our live SPID Skycam. I wonder how many of these cars are going to work and how many of them are heading out for that Thanksgiving holiday. And speaking of holidays, we're going to take things on over to Washington. The Federal Aviation Administration expects this year's Thanksgiving travel period to be the busiest in 15 years. More than 31 million Americans are expected to fly this week, with Sunday being the busiest. So what can you expect if you need to fly this week? To answer that question, we bring in our Deputy Political Director, Joe St. George. Good morning, Joe. Can travelers still expect any residual shutdown impacts? And what is the Secretary of Transportation suggesting that travelers do?
It's a good question, both of them. The first question is about this government shutdown, any type of residual impacts. It looks as though no. It looks as though air traffic controllers, TSA, those significant impacts that we saw in early November that really contributed to the end of the government shutdown, that those have been resolved. That is the good news. The bad news is that weather is going to be a much more significant issue. It looks as though this holiday weekend, depending on which corner of the country you're traveling to. So there are delays, but they're weather delays as opposed to government shutdown related delays. Now to the interesting campaign that Secretary of Transportation Sean Duffy has launched. It's a campaign essentially to try to get people to be nicer. Listen to what he said about what you should be wearing at airports in the spirit of trying to improve everyone's attitudes. Take a listen.
I call this just maybe dressing with some respect. Whether it's a pair of jeans and a decent shirt, I would encourage people to maybe dress a little better, which encourages us to maybe behave a little better. Let's try not to wear slippers and pajamas as we come to the airport. I think that's positive.
That's one of the funny ones, right? You got to remember, back in the day, decades ago, people used to wear suits. People used to dress up to go on an airplane. It's certainly more casual. You head throughout airports these days. I guarantee you there's still plenty of people wearing their pajamas to the airports on this Wednesday before Thanksgiving. But an interesting note, again, an effort by the Secretary of Transportation just to improve attitudes. I don't know. What do you think? Are you pro pajama, or do you want to see people dressing up a little better?
Well, I am pro pajama. That's how I usually fly. But I mean, I'd love to run into you at the airport looking all fancy in your suit too. Or maybe I'd like to see you in something more comfortable.
I do not wear this. I do not wear this to the airport. I promise you that.
All right. Well, then we're on the same page there, Joe. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to speak to us today, and we look forward to talking to you very soon.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Well, good morning and happy Wednesday there, Coastal Bend. I'm meteorologist Stephen Jones, taking a live look out at our Snoopy's Pier Sky Cam thanks to Matthews CCAC. Just a nice Wednesday morning out there. All the rain has since started to fizzle out. 67 degrees in those winds out of the north-northeast, 23 miles an hour in the wake of that cold front. Lots of us seeing the cooler temperatures now. 62 off to the northwest in Cotulla, the same for Beeville, 67 in Port Aransas, the Naval Air Station, Kingsville, even 66 off to the southwest in Hebronville this morning, as we're all getting some of the effects of that cold front. And you can see the best convection has since moved off to the south with that cold front in, as well. As we're going into the rest of the day, I think Corpus Christi likely to stay dry. Planning out our Wednesday for you can see just a few leftover showers and storms, mainly off for our southern neighborhoods. As we go into the rest of the day, breezy winds into the afternoon, 20 to 25 miles an hour, and cool temperatures to look forward to in those low to mid 70s for today and for the Thanksgiving holiday tomorrow. For our dog walking forecast today, we've got Beerus and Broly on the board, already feeling very thankful for each other, it looks like, and looking for their temperatures as they get ready for that walk along Ocean Drive. 66 degrees by 9 a.m., 69 by 11 a.m., entering those lower 70s by the time we're heading into the early afternoon, and breezy winds out of the northeast like we talked about around that 20-mile-an-hour mark. For our forecast highs over the next few days, going to see them start to come back up towards Saturday, looking at those lower 80s, but then our next cold front arrives going into Sunday, dropping us way down into potentially those upper 50s starting off next week and rolling into December. For our future tracker today, you can see as that cold front continues off to the south, that's going to take the convection and the cloud cover with it. As we go into our Thanksgiving tonight, looking pretty clear, but going into tomorrow, a little bit more cloud cover on the way. Just those partly cloudy skies currently what I'm expecting for our Thanksgiving here in the Corpus Christi area. And as we look at that forecast officially, of course, we've got the birds here trying to get out of the way. I don't think they want to get cooked for Thanksgiving as we roll into tomorrow, but looking at that forecast, 73 winds out of the east-northeast, 9 to 14 miles an hour. Much better than what we were looking at today. And if you're traveling across the Lone Star State, here's a look at what you could expect. Still going to see those 60s across the board, but I think I'd take a jacket with me, especially if you're heading up towards DFW, where they're going to see about 60 degrees for that daytime high. Back here at home, though, in the Corpus Christi area, as we go into the weekend, that's where we see those rain chances start to make their return by that Saturday, Sunday, even into Monday timeframe, dealing with some of that isolated to scattered development. Not going to be a total washout, but we're still going to take every drop we can get because the drought monitor not exactly where we wanted to be. Here's a look at last week. Going into this week's update, not too much change, where you could see that extreme drought along the I-10 corridor, severe drought here in Corpus Christi, and extreme drought as you work your way just slightly to the southwest there in the coastal bend as well. So not exactly what we want to see on the drought monitor, and we could surely use the rain that we're trying to expect as we head into this weekend. For our 7-day forecast, plenty of victories on the board. Those 70s through about the Friday timeframe, like we talked about, a little warmer on Saturday. Then that next weather maker stirs up some good scattered shower chances into the Monday timeframe. But although we're going to see those cooler temperatures starting off next week, rolling into December in those upper 50s, if not the lower 60s.
Thanksgiving is tomorrow, and some of you might need to make a quick trip to the store. Coming up on Sunrise, I have a look at the cheapest grocery prices around town, including some Thanksgiving staples. Welcome back. Most of you might already have your turkey for tomorrow, but you might need to head to the store for some last-minute items. I have a look at where you can find some deals on staple food items, including some last-minute Thanksgiving goodies. These prices are this morning's online prices. For eggs, Walmart has the cheapest price with a dozen of eggs for $1.97. Next up is milk. Walmart has the cheapest with a gallon of milk for $2.87. Next up, we have some Thanksgiving staples, dinner rolls. Walmart has the best deal with $1.38. Next up, pumpkin pie. Target has the best deal for $4.99. And finally, pecan pie. Target also has the best deal for $4.99. And just a heads up on some store hours, Walmart is open today until 11 p.m. and closed on Thanksgiving Day. H-E-B is open today from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. and they'll be open tomorrow from 7 a.m. to noon. And Target is open today from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. and closed on Thanksgiving.
Well, good morning and happy Wednesday there, Coastal Bend. Taking a live look out at our USS Lexington Cam thanks to First Community Bank. Seeing some breezy winds out of the north there, around 20 miles an hour, the new Harbor Bridge in view. A few more cars starting to hit it there for that Wednesday morning commute as we're getting closer to 6:30 a.m., but flowing nice and smooth. And as we look at the traffic flow around the Corpus Christi area, really plenty of greens on the board, exactly how we like to start our day. Starting off with the Harbor Bridge, just like we saw on the Skycam. Good and green if you're heading to or from Portland this morning. As we're working into Corpus Christi, Ocean Drive also looking good, as well as SPID. Saratoga, for the most part, only that minor slowdown near Airline, as well as Crosstown Expressway and SPID, a minor slowdown there at that junction. As we work over towards Flower Bluff Drive looking pretty good, as well as Waldron Road. And then finally, as we work our way over towards the island, also plenty of greens on the board is what we're looking at out there right now. So wherever you're coming from and going to this morning, going to be good and green to head out the door and kick off your Wednesday morning.
Two local businesses partnering to feed neighbors. I'm Alexis Scott with their mission to help others.
Now, weather on the 6s.
Well, good Wednesday morning there, Coastal Bend, taking a live look out at Snoopy Skycam thanks to Matthews CCAC. Starting to see more of that rain and the cloud cover working off to the south. Water's nice and calm this morning, but the wind's a little breezy out of the northeast, around 20 miles an hour, really around Corpus Christi and over here on Snoopy Skycam. As we're starting off our Wednesday, hasn't been too bad, but that rain, like I said, starting to move off to the south and cooler temperatures moving into our area in their wake. You can see off to the north, 62, the cool spot this morning in Cotulla, as well as over there in Beeville. Along the coast, sitting at 67 for Port Aransas, and the Naval Air Station Kingsville also coming in at that 67 degree mark. Ingleside just off to the north, around 65 degrees starting off our Wednesday morning. Also pretty breezy, like we talked about, a lot of us in that 20 to 25 mile an hour range here around Corpus Christi. A little bit lighter in those winds off towards Beeville and George West, about 9 to 12 miles an hour this morning, but all of us on the way for a pretty breezy afternoon in the wake of that cold front. For our dog walking forecast, today, we've got Beerus and Broly on the board. Already feeling pretty thankful for each other, it looks like, as we get ready for Thanksgiving tomorrow. And those temperatures for their walk along Ocean Drive this morning going to be about 66 there by 9 a.m. Entering those lower 70s as we get ready to head out for that lunch hour, but also very breezy out of the northeast, like we talked about, around that 20-mile-an-hour mark. Planning out those daytime highs into the afternoon, should see only about 72 to 73 degrees as we head towards 3 p.m. and still pretty breezy, holding on to about 15 to 20 miles an hour for those winds, but starting to come down as well as we're going into the dinner time hours. For our forecast highs over the next few days, going to start to see them slowly come back up, mainly by Saturday, entering those lower 80s once again, but quickly going to drop by Sunday. That's where we're anticipating that next cold front to arrive to our area. Going to see the 60s return, if not the upper 50s, as we're going into early December next week by that Monday to Tuesday time frame. So we're going to definitely take the below average temperatures for a nice change of pace. Our current Doppler radar, nice and dry around here in the Corpus Christi area, but you can see where we did have that decent storm work its way through Corpus Christi, but has since started to fizzle out in the best convection, really remaining well off to the south now, and I think most of us going to be drying out as we go through the rest of our Wednesday as well. You can see on our future tracker that cold front takes the convection and the cloud cover with it as we go into tonight. By tomorrow for Thanksgiving, just to start to see a little bit of partly cloudy skies working back in as we're starting to go into our Thanksgiving morning and into that afternoon tomorrow. Looking at that forecast for you, at least for tomorrow here in the Corpus Christi area, got our birds on the screen ready to get out of the way. I don't think they want to get cooked as we go into tomorrow. Going to be a nice forecast though for that Thanksgiving dinner, around 73 degrees, and those winds quite a bit calmer than what we're seeing today, 9 to 14 miles an hour. If you're going to be traveling other places across the Lone Star State, going to be in those 60s, a little bit cooler than here in Corpus Christi. I think I'd bring a jacket with me. Still those light winds, but either way, the 60s, I'd definitely call that about jacket worthy. For our rain chances back here at home, going to start to peak by that Saturday, Sunday, even into Monday time frame as we start to see more moisture work into the area and potentially a little bit of frontal overrunning as we go into early next week. Really going to see how that shapes up with the cold front expected working into the area early next week. In terms of the rainfall over the next 7 days, not going to see a ton with those increased rain chances, but we're, like we talked about, going to take every drop we can get. Have about 10 inches to go to make up for the 2025 deficit so far, but the best totals going to be as you work your way towards the northeast, the Houston area, expected to get maybe that 1 to 2 inch mark. Of course, these totals still subject to change, but either way, we're going to be on the tail end of the system, always hoping for a little more rain rather than less. For our current 7-day forecast, we're going to take the nice 70s through that Friday time frame, the 80s by Saturday, then that cold front arrives, of course, dropping us back into the 60s, if not the upper 50s for next week, stirring up some of those scattered rain chances for this weekend.
A simple wreath and a powerful reminder of sacrifice. Coming up on Sunrise, I'll tell you about the women behind this holiday mission.
This is Veterans in Focus, sponsored by the Heil Law Firm, battling for justice, winning for the community.
A group of women have turned grief into something beautiful. For this week's Veterans in Focus, I'm sharing the meaning behind handmade wreaths for our heroes resting at the Coastal Bend Veterans Cemetery.
Pinch it, gather it in the center, and then you twist it.
What started as a small group of caregivers has become a circle of friends, all coming together each holiday season to prepare wreaths and bows for the Coastal Bend State Veterans Cemetery. They're called Las Chulas en Rojo.
We have 9 ladies that are widows in this group, and the rest of them are caregivers.
You might notice they all wear matching shirts, except for Nancy. She's new to the group.
This is my first year here.
She's been waiting months for this day, especially knowing her husband will receive one of these mini wreaths for the first time.
My husband is on the wall. He's in the columbarium. We just put him there in September.
While one group was working on making 125 small wreaths,
they put something in here so it'll stay on the wall.
The other team cut ribbon and made bows by hand.
If it looks bad, we're going to make a new bow. Our veterans deserve something pretty.
The group will also sort through about 800 wreaths from last year, making sure each one is worthy to be used again.
It's like a bookkeeping business, too. You have to keep up with the bookkeeping to find out what goes on.
I'm just thankful to be able to be here to do it.
And you don't have to be a surviving spouse to join them. Ann Kolasinski is one of the caregivers. Her husband broke his leg in boot camp, was sent to Vietnam weeks later, and after complications from Agent Orange, he's been bedridden for 3 years.
And so I tell him, I love you. You're my life. You saved me and the boys. and now it's my turn to take care of you.
The love she has for her husband is the same kind of love they're putting into these wreaths.
There's no reason for anybody to be unhappy, even if you lose your loved one or you still have your loved one alive, because there's always things that you can do to make life a little bit easier.
And I pray that whoever it is, the family will be blessed and they will know that they are not alone.
Las Chulas and Rojo say extra hands are always welcome. Surviving spouses, caregivers, or anyone who simply wants to help. The group will place the wreaths at the cemetery on December 13th at 11 a.m. and their next workshop will be on December 5th at 10 a.m.
Well, hey there and happy Wednesday morning, Coastal Bend. I'm meteorologist Stephen Jones. Taking a live look out at our USS Lexington cam thanks to First Community Bank, the new Harbor Bridge in view. Quite a few cars starting to take it for that Wednesday morning commute, and all the rain that we were seeing earlier has since moved off to the south with some cooler and breezy conditions moving in its wake. Temperatures in your neck of the woods pretty cool off to the north, 59 there in Beeville as well as Cotulla, 67 the number for Port Aransas and the Naval Air Station, 64 out there in Mathis as we're rolling through our Wednesday morning. And taking a look at the radar over the past few hours, you can see where we had that decent shower work through the Corpus Christi area has since really started to dry out across the entire Coastal Bend, with the best convection taking place well off to the south now, going to continue its trek off to the south as we go through our day, and really not going to see those rain chances improve at all as we go through the rest of our day. Anything we're seeing right now, that's pretty much anything we're going to see for the rest of the Wednesday and into our Thanksgiving holiday. Going to see those rain chances riding at the bottom of the board. So for today, going to expect those partly cloudy skies to mostly sunny skies, 73 degrees here in Corpus Christi, really those lower 70s across most of the Coastal Bend, and that's going to continue into our Thanksgiving as well. But we've got some more rain chances on the way, so I'll go over those rain chances and the full 7-day forecast coming up in just a bit.
Now, 20 minutes of non-stop news, sponsored by Ewald Kubota.
Thank you so much for joining us for our 20 minutes of nonstop news. I'm Michaela Chavez. Brian and Michelle have the day off. We have plenty of neighborhood news for you this morning, but first, let's check in with meteorologist Stephen Jones. Good morning, Stephen. How are you today?
Good morning, Michaela. I'm doing pretty well this Wednesday morning, but I've got to ask, how are you feeling on your final sunrise show for now, at least?
I'm so happy to be here, and I'm very grateful and thankful and blessed to even have had this opportunity, but it's time to go back to my reporting.
Yes, I guess so. You know, it's been great to have you here, though, on the sunrise show, but it's definitely going to be, I think also a welcome back for Brian and Michelle tomorrow, so it's bittersweet, of course.
Yes, of course. Thank you.
But Liz, we're looking at the traffic out there. Not too bad starting off our Wednesday morning. Here's a live look out at our SPID Skycam. You can see more cars starting to hit the roadway now that we're heading closer to 7 a.m. But it looks like they're still flowing nice and smooth there, just with some wet roadways that might slow you down just slightly on the roadways. As we're looking at the traffic flow in our area, lots of green on the board, exactly how we'd like to start our mornings. To and from Portland, going to be good and green there along the new Harbor Bridge if you're heading that way. Into the Corpus Christi area, Ocean Drive not looking too bad, as well as SPID, Saratoga, and Crosstown Expressway. Over into Flower Bluff now. Flower Bluff Drive and Waldron Road, plenty of greens on the board, so really wherever you're coming from and going to be pretty good and green to head out the door and kick off your Wednesday.
Thanks, Stephen. We'll check back in with you in just a bit. We have plenty of neighborhood news to get to this morning, from a Bitcoin scam targeting veterans to a community Thanksgiving dinner in Robstown. We have you covered in your neighborhood check-in.
I'm your Aransas Pass neighborhood news reporter, Adam Beam. A veteran here reached out to me wanting to spread the word about scams that may be targeting people like him. So here's what you need to know.
For many Americans, dealing with scammers is a near daily occurrence, and at times, a costly one. Stories of those impacted are not too hard to come across either. Take, for example, this story of an 80-year-old man in Miami being stopped by police as he attempted to deposit thousands of dollars into a Bitcoin ATM. It's that story that was all too familiar for Mike Williams. He, too, fell victim to a similar crime.
You can't be too careful.
Given the crime involved cryptocurrency, it's important to remember some helpful tips. Only scammers demand cryptocurrency, and any messages, emails, or phone calls, no matter how legitimate they may seem, should be ignored and reported.
I'm Melissa Trevino, your neighborhood news reporter in Alice. Behind me is just one of the spots residents have complained about. I've covered illegal dumping in Jim Wells County 3 times in the last 2 years. Now, the city of Alice and Jim Wells County are working together to clean it up and hold someone accountable. Alice Mayor Cynthia Carrasco tells me illegal dumping has been a growing problem for years. Precinct 4 Commissioner Huicho Gonzalez tells me some of the illegal dumping he's seen is not even from the Jim Wells County area. The city received temporary assistance from an outside company to help with the trash pickup. But now they've created a new plan in partnership with Jim Wells County. Under this plan, the county will help with any pickup if the city needs extra help. Brush pickup will also happen only in certain months.
2 local businesses partnering to feed neighbors. I'm Alexis Scott with their mission to help others.
Early Tuesday morning, crews with Corpus Christi Sharks Football Club and Bellaroma Cafe prepped holiday meals to get out to hundreds of neighbors. The meal included a turkey dinner with all the fixings. Once all the meals were prepped and packaged, volunteers distributed the meals to neighbors in the downtown area. Close to 300 meals were passed out. Both Corpus Christi Football Club and Bellaroma Cafe say they plan to partner for more community outreach efforts, not only for the holidays, but beyond.
This season, many will gather for Thanksgiving, but not everyone will be able to afford a meal. I'm Stephanie Molina, your neighborhood news reporter in Robstown, where a Thanksgiving dinner turned warm meals into community support. What are you thankful for this Thanksgiving?
Very thankful for everybody. My family coming together, people helping out my family.
My family. What the community is doing. Oh, this is nice. And then it helps us out with the baby too.
For my family, hugging my mom. My family.
Those are the words of Robstown neighbors who came out Tuesday night for an early Thanksgiving dinner at the Robstown Young Futures, a nonprofit that will soon be opening to the community after the new year. I spoke to Marketing Director Emily Hernandez about why these community events are important. The event brought about 170 people. They got to eat a warm traditional Thanksgiving meal. Robstown neighbor Gilbert Rodriguez says places like these are important for the community. Hernandez says the organization aims to create more opportunities for local youth and that helping parents is one way to help the children too.
Well, good morning and happy Wednesday. Taking a live look out at our Snoopy's Pier Skycam thanks to Matthew CCAC. You can see just a great morning on our hands so far. 6:45 a.m. Most of the cloud cover starting to work off to the south a little bit. Cooler temperatures also working in. 67 degrees over here on our Snoopy's Pier Skycam. Those temperatures in your neck of the woods a little cooler even off to the north. 61 currently in Beeville, 65 over in Ingleside. Robstown coming in at 63 degrees and Port Aransas at that 66 degree mark as we're kicking off our Wednesday. Current winds out there pretty breezy, especially here around Corpus Christi, 25 miles an hour, 20 miles an hour. What they're reading over in Alice, George West, a little lighter, coming in about 9 miles an hour, but all of us on our way into a breezy afternoon. For our dog walking forecast today, we've got Beerus and Broly on the board, already looking very thankful for each other, getting into the holiday spirit for tomorrow. Those temperatures for their walk along Ocean Drive not looking too bad either, 68 degrees by 10 a.m., entering those lower 70s as we head towards that lunchtime hour. And like we talked about, pretty breezy out of the northeast around that 20 mile an hour mark into the early afternoon, with gusts even higher, upwards of potentially 40 miles an hour. But I think we're going to be sticking closer to those 30 mile an hour gusts and then slowly coming down as we go into the evening hours, closer to that 15 to 20 mile an hour mark as we're going into the overnight hours. For our forecast high temperatures throughout the next 10 days, going to see them come up a little bit, especially towards Saturday into those lower 80s, then drop right back down as we see Sunday's cold front work in, bringing us back into those 60s and potentially even the upper 50s as we're kicking off early next week. And then we're going to come back up into the later half of the week, around average currently what model guidance has us as, but I'll definitely take the majority of below average temperatures that we currently have on the board. For our radar over the past 3 hours, you could see that storm that did work through the Corpus Christi area everything since has dried up around most of the coastal bend. The best convection taking place well off to the south as it moves there, with the cold front working through, taking the cloud cover even with it as we go into the overnight hours. But kicking off tomorrow for our Thanksgiving, that's where we start to see just a little bit of partly cloudy skies making their return to the area, but looking like a beautiful forecast at that, where we're still going to see the lower 70s around the area. Of course, here's a look at that Thanksgiving forecast. The turkey's trying to get out of the way as we go into tomorrow for our Turkey Thursday. 73 degrees and winds much calmer than today, 9 to 14 miles an hour. And if you're going to get ready to travel across other portions of the Lone Star State, also going to see those lighter winds out there, but even a little bit cooler in those 60s. So if you're going to be traveling for tomorrow, I think I'd bring a jacket along with me. Back here in the Corpus Christi area for our rain chances over the next 7 days, going to see them start to peak by Saturday into Sunday and Monday, where we start to get a little bit more of that onshore flow back to the coastal bend area, and that's going to stir up some of those rain chances. Just not going to be a total washout. Current guidance has us around 1/4 of an inch to maybe 1/2 of an inch with that system. For our 7-day forecast, you're going to see those 70s stick around through Friday. That's where we see the 80s make their way back in by Saturday, but look at next week coming in those upper 50s by Monday, with overnight lows in those lower 40s.
This Thanksgiving, AI can do more than find recipes or tell you when to put that turkey in the oven. It can help you shop smarter. Scripps News Group consumer reporter John Matarese shows us how to use AI to spot real bargains so you don't waste your money.
More and more shoppers this holiday season will be using AI to help them find the right gift at the right price. And now some companies are making that easier than ever. One of the hot trends this shopping season is artificial intelligence.
Doing a quick search.
We found Matt Huff using ChatGPT to search TV deals at Best Buy.
And it will tell me about the displays, the models, the years, the smart operations.
Huff says tracking down new features on a budget used to be overwhelming.
That just really brings it all to the forefront for me and makes it easy decision making.
An Intuit QuickBooks report shows 4 in 10 shoppers plan to use AI as a shopping sidekick.
People are looking for deals, they're looking for gift recommendations.
AI is popping up inside big retailers and apps. Amazon's Rufus shows reviews, price history, and product comparisons. This year, Walmart and Target announced partnerships with OpenAI, moves that will let shoppers buy from those stores directly inside ChatGPT.
You want a tool designed for shopping, especially in AI.
Bobby Goshal is CEO of Dupe, a platform that uses AI to help shoppers find similar, lower-priced versions, or dupes.
People come to Dupe to save money, first and foremost, but they leave Dupe feeling like they've done their research.
Goshal says Dupe users often find savings of about 60 to 70%. Shopping expert Trey Bodge says AI is great for gift ideas, but finds it can lag on current deals.
Remember, the AI is pulling from the information that's already out there, and it's moving so quickly, right? So it's very hard for the chatbot to be really accurate.
Even if AI doesn't find the best price, most shoppers say it saves time, which is a gift in itself.
I got 2 TVs lined up and a refrigerator.
That way you don't waste your money. John Matarese, Scripps News Group.
Now, 6 things to know before you go.
The city has announced their Thanksgiving holiday schedule. If your trash or recycling pickup day is on Thursday, it has been rescheduled to Saturday. Friday collection will run as normal. City Hall will be closed on Thanksgiving Day. Libraries, public pools, the natatorium, and gymnasiums will also be closed on Thanksgiving, as well as recreation and senior centers. The Lozano and Oso golf courses will be open on Thanksgiving Day. If you live or drive on the south side, one southbound lane on South Staples Street is closed for utility line repair work between Timbergate Drive and Lipas Boulevard. The closure is expected to continue through Tuesday, December 2nd. Two-way traffic is allowed on the remaining lanes of South Staples Street during the construction period. A new Gold's Gym is set to open at the corner of South Staples and Autotown next year. It's the return of the brand after closing its last location several years ago. The owners are renovating the entire building and investing nearly $1 million. They say it'll be state-of-the-art with the largest workout floor and more weight training equipment than any other gym in the city. Construction starts in February, and the new gym should be completed by June. Medicare is cutting prices for 15 high-priced prescription drugs. The Trump administration announced newly negotiated prices for the medications, which are expected to save the program about $12 billion in 2027. Popular weight loss and diabetes treatment drugs Ozempic and Wegovy are on the list. Other drugs include treatments for various types of cancer, depression, and neurological diseases. It's unclear how much in savings individuals will see. New data is set to be released today on residential sales for the month of September. It's the latest delayed economic report to be released as federal workers try to play catch-up after the government shutdown ended. The report comes just a day after data released from the National Association of Realtors shows existing home sales in October rose nearly 2% from the prior month. It's a sign that lower mortgage rates are spurring home buying activity. And the Olympic flame will officially be lit in Greece today ahead of the Milan Cortina Winter Games. However, the lighting ceremony isn't without some drama. Organizers spent the beginning of the week scrambling to come up with a backup plan for bad weather in case they can't use the sun to light the torch. The Milan Cortina Games run from February 6th through the 22nd. There are 116 medal events that range from hockey to mountaineer skiing. And it's almost time for a holiday tradition. The annual Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade is right around the corner. Today, crews will be busy at work inflating the massive parade balloons. There are a total of 34 balloons this year, including Mario, Pac-Man, Pikachu, SpongeBob, and more. Each balloon takes about 90 minutes to inflate. And you can catch the Macy's Day Parade tomorrow right here on Chris 6. Those are some massive balloons. Look at the size of that compared to the guy.
Yeah, no, they are. Those are huge. Are you going to be watching this parade tomorrow? I know you won't be here for sunrise, unfortunately, but will you be up early enough to watch it?
I should, I don't know about that. I think I might sleep in a little bit, but I've never watched the parade, but I heard it's awesome. I have some people that I know who watch it. Do you?
No, yeah, I try to watch it at least every year. If I'm not up early enough, then I just try to watch the recording, at least in years past, but of course, I'll be here tomorrow, so I think I'll try to get a good glimpse of it.
Yeah, but you know what? If we're streaming it, gotta support, I gotta watch it, gotta tune in.
Absolutely, and I mean, do you have one you're excited to see? One of the floats?
What did they say? Mario? I like Mario.
I was going to say the Pikachu float. I definitely think I'm excited to see Pikachu. Got a Pokemon fan. Not too bad. There's a pretty good amount out there, but I'm also pretty happy that we got some rain this morning. I wasn't expecting it, but we got some decent rain here in the Corpus Christi area. Some of those downpours out there. Here's a live look out at our USS Lexington cam thanks to First Community Bank, and you can see doesn't even look like we had those downpours around the area, but we definitely did just a few hours ago. But now as we're heading closer to that 7 a.m. time frame, just starting to see some cloud cover out there that should start to clear out as well as we're heading into the early afternoon. But cooler temperatures have already worked in, sitting at about 63 degrees here on our Lex Cam. Those temperatures in your neck of the woods even cooler off to the north. 61, that cool spot up in Beeville this morning. 62 over in Cotulla to the northwest, and then a little warmer there along the coast. The Naval Air Station and Kingsville tying for that warm spot at about 67 degrees as we're kicking off our Wednesday morning. For the current winds, though, we do have some breezy winds out there around the Corpus Christi area. 22 miles an hour in Port Aransas, 23 miles an hour over at the Naval Air Station. A little lighter towards George West, coming in about 9 miles an hour, but a breezy afternoon on the way for us. As we're looking at that dog walking forecast today, we've got Beerus and Broly on the board, ready to go on their walk, already feeling a little thankful for each other, it looks like. Those temperatures for them, 66 degrees by 9 a.m., 69 by 11 a.m., those lower 70s as we're heading out for lunch this afternoon, and winds going to be breezy out of the northeast around 20 miles an hour. As we're looking at those wind gusts, though, even breezier out there. Potential is there for 40-mile-an-hour wind gusts, but I think we're going to remain closer to the 30-mile-an-hour wind gusts for some of those maximums before we start to come down into the later evening hours around dinner time and then into the overnight time frame, closer to that 15 to 20-mile-an-hour mark that we're more accustomed to with some of those winds, but just something to be wary of as we head through the next few hours. Could be pretty breezy out and about. For forecast high temperatures, they're going to come back up by Saturday. That's where we see some onshore flow return to the coastal bend, expecting those lower 80s, more moisture in place, so we're going to stir up some rain chances, but look at the drop in daytime highs with the arrival of the next cold front. On Sunday, going to put us back into those 60s, potentially even the upper 50s as we're kicking off next week into that Monday to Tuesday time frame. Then we come right back up above average as we head into the back half of the next work week. For our radar over the past 3 hours has really started to dry up, especially here around Corpus Christi. We saw some decent rainfall, but I'm happy that we did get it. We still need quite a bit to make up for 2025. And as we look at the future tracker, not going to see any on our portion of the board. At least it's going to continue off to the south as we go through the rest of the day, only seeing partly cloudy skies as we go into tomorrow. So for our 7-day forecast, currently going to take those 70s while we have them through about the Friday time frame. Like we talked about, the 80s going to return pretty briefly. Those rain chances, though, I'm getting excited for over the weekend, and especially the cooler temperatures. Definitely going to be feeling like fall here in Corpus Christi. 59 degrees by Monday, 60 there by Tuesday. I'm definitely a fan of it. You know, going to be jacket worthy. Michaela, how are you feeling about it?
Jacket worthy. I love that. Just don't be like me, guys. Bring an umbrella, bring a jacket if it's jacket worthy for sure. But okay, guys, thank you so much for joining us on Sunrise this morning, and we will see you back here for Chris 6 News at noon.